838, Big 550, KTRS. Jimmy's Cafe, 706 DeMont Avenue in Clayton, sponsors Cat Neville and the feast segment here, and they've been doing it for a long time. They're at 706 DeMont in Clayton, 725-8585, and their website is jimmyscafe.com for menu and directions. Now, normally we talk about Jimmy's Cafe. It's a great Mother's Day place, but you know what? It's also a great place to take Dad and take the family for Father's Day brunch. Father's Day brunch, don't forget about it at Jimmy's on the Park, 706 DeMont in Clayton, or jimmyscafe.com, 725-8585 for reservations. And don't shortchange Dad. Dad's just as important as Mom. Take him out to brunch at Jimmy's Cafe.
Don't shortchange Dad.
Yeah.
Don't just give him that tie. Take him to brunch.
Yeah. Don't give him the tie you gave him last year. Take him to brunch at Jimmy's Cafe. Good morning, Cat Neville.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
What are you doing for Dad's Day?
Well, my dad, I don't think he's going to be in town. He and my mom are at their house in Vero Beach right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so they're supposed to be back in town soon because it's sailing season.
Yeah, it is sailing season, and they are listening, aren't they?
I'm sure they're listening.
Hi,
yes.
Dad. Hi, Mom. Happy
Hello,
Dad's Day.
Cat's dad.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. What's the restaurants?
Okay, so I have two really great spots that are downtown, and one is very well known. It's Cielo, which means sky in Italian,
Right.
and it is at the Four Seasons St. Louis, and they have a new chef. So the chef is Gian Nicola Colucci, and I hope that I did not mess that up.
You also threw a little Italian in
You
there.
Well, I was trying to give it a little
I'm really impressed.
authenticity.
Hey, little Colucci, how you doing?
He most recently was cooking in Venice, and so he is here. He, ironically, and how who would have thought this was possible, but he and Fabrizio, who was the chef there previously at the Four Seasons, they grew up in the same small village in Italy.
Of course they did.
I know. Isn't that the funniest
Only
thing,
in St.
though?
Louis.
What's the likelihood? I know. Right, only in St. Louis. Exactly. So he's really just, he's maintaining the feel of the Italian menu at Cielo, but giving it his own spin. And one of the dishes that I had that I really, really loved was a squid ink pasta, which if you've never had squid ink pasta before, squid ink has this, it's very difficult, it's very umami, which is that fifth taste. It's not salty. Don't make a face like that.
Like squid? Like squid?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like Sigmund the Sea Monster squid.
I don't know what that is.
You know that Saturday morning cartoon, Sigmund the Sea Monster? That squidish kind of deal? Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, moving on.
So squid ink is really an amazing ingredient that a lot of Italian chefs will use to color and flavor things like risotto, pasta, gnocchi, things like that. So make sauces out of la. So he does this tonarelli pasta with lobster and tomato, and then he makes this bagna cauda, which is, you're going to make a face again, which is
She's speaking Chinese this morning.
No, she's speaking Italian.
I've never heard any of these words before.
So bagna cauda really literally means hot bath. And what you do when you make a traditional bagna cauda is you heat a big amount of great olive oil very, 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 very slowly, and you cook garlic cloves and anchovies until they dissolve into the olive oil.
Wow.
It is this, and then you add like cream and stuff, and it is this, if you've never tasted what it's like to have a cooked anchovy as the base of a sauce or a dish, it doesn't taste the same way that an anchovy does, like in a salad or on a pizza or something like that. It adds this nuance that is really hard to put your finger on. It's absolutely wonderfully delicious.
And what is that? Is that a sauce, or is it?
Bagna cauda typically actually is served with crudité. It's served with raw vegetables, and so you use it mainly as a dip. So, but what he's done is he's kind of turned it into a pasta sauce here, with the with that squid ink pasta, which has this really, again, kind of wonderful kind of nuance to it. So really some creative spins on Italian dishes, but something that's not necessarily outside of things that you might not be familiar with.
Well, now that you mention it, I mean, squid ink?
Yeah.
Squid ink pasta.
You should try it.
Really?
Should try it. Yes.
So it's pasta, but it's
pasta.
flavored.
It's
squid.
flavored, and so squid ink is black,
right?
And so
it's
has
black
that
pasta.
Yes.
Oh.
So it's really striking. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
I would try that.
You should try it. I mean, you should try pretty much, unless you're allergic to something.
Yes.
You should try it, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Throw up.
Oh God.
Oh gosh.
You won't like it, but if
Projectile
you do,
vomit.
but if stop it. But if you do like it, then you've opened yourself up to something pleasurable.
Hey,
Food is about pleasure.
Then you're going to want it all the time.
You've taken me to places I never would have gone before I met you, so I'm doing pretty good. Right? I'm doing pretty good.
So he also has a wonderful selection of fish. Clearly, it's an Italian restaurant. Swordfish with sun-dried tomatoes and Kennebec potato tart with Mediterranean kind of sauce on that. He has corvina, which is lovely, with a white polenta. Polenta obviously just being kind of cornmeal that's cooked.
Okay.
Some lardo, Ozark forest mushrooms, artichokes that have a beautiful kind of violet color, and then like an olive and caper vinaigrette. So again, very simple preparations, but with kind of like elevated ingredients, which is truly an Italian approach.
They also have the best view of the arch ever.
It's an absolutely gorgeous place to dine.
So totally different menu now because
it is very different.
Totally revamped.
And what's great about this place, I actually went to dinner with a friend of mine from Kansas City who is a vegetarian. And he, when we sat down, we decided to order the tasting menu just because I wanted to try as much as I could. And so the kitchen was able to accommodate the vegetarian request just like very, very easily. And all the dishes that my friend Nico had were just stunning, just really, really wonderful things. And so they do accommodate a lot of vegan and also vegetarian needs, gluten-free, all this kind of stuff because it's a hotel.
Sure.
And then their pastry chef is doing some really great stuff too, and playing around with some vegan options there as well.
Cielo, Four Seasons. What's the name of the chef again?
Gian Nicola Colucci.
Gian Nicola Colucci.
And if I messed it up, I apologize. I'm doing my best.
That's the St. Louis version.
Yes.
Colucci. All right. What's number 2?
Okay, so number 2. Brand new. It's in a building that we're all familiar with. It originally was the Terrace View, and then it was Joe's Chili Bowl right there in the middle of City Garden.
Okay.
That gorgeous kind of modernist jewel box with like metal and glass. And so the fine folks over at Blood and Sand, which is the very well-respected private club right there in St. Charles downtown, they have opened a lunch only, Monday through Friday, 11 to 3 only, at least for now.
Right.
Spot called Death in the Afternoon, which is, along with Blood and Sand, it's an unexpected name with kind of a little bit of like, wait a second.
Right.
Why are you naming something that? And so Death in the Afternoon is obviously a Hemingway novel, but it also is the name of a cocktail. And while, between 11 to 3, Monday through Friday, I don't know how many cocktails you're going to be having. You might be having some. But the food is amazing. Nick Martinkovich is the chef at Blood and Sand and also at Death in the Afternoon. And he is one of, I think, in my opinion, one of the most talented guys in town. He is doing some amazing stuff. And so the food here, they're really working on making it quick, because obviously it's a downtown lunch. So they want to make sure they get it out to you as quickly as possible. But the food is really creative. So everything from, they have this spicy eggplant dip, which sounds like it could be something like baba ganoush, but it really kind of has a little bit of an Asian edge to it. So rather than like tahini, they're putting in sesame oil, this kind of a thing. Their take on hummus is really unique and kind of topped with some kind of spicy peppers and even some pickled broccoli and this kind of stuff. They have house-made charcuterie, and charcuterie is cured meat. And so it's all different kinds of stuff like bresaola, coppa, mostarda. They do a house-made butter, which is lovely. They serve it with this really perfect kind of baguette. And so those are kind of the smaller plates, marinated olives, things like that. And then they also have Japanese steamed buns, which when I don't know if you read the January kind of like tastemakers issue that we did, but all the young chefs who are kind of excited about food, what they want is ramen and steamed buns. That's what they're excited about.
Really?
And yes. And so I believe Death in the Afternoon is introducing ramen this week, but they have Japanese steamed buns, which if you don't know what that is, if you've never had kind of an Asian style steamed dumpling, but it's like a pure white dough. And when it's steamed, it puffs up and it has a slight sweetness to it and a really nice kind of give.
So yummy.
It is so yummy. It is so delicious.
I can eat like 50 of them.
Well, you can order.
You can order 50.
You can order them each. So what they have is they have choice of pork belly, charred tuna, duck confit, mushrooms, which are these wonderful shiitake mushrooms, or seasoned tofu, and then it's served with pickled daikon and sliced fish sauce pickles, and then they also have kind of sliced raw peppers that add a lot of like heat to it. Just really, really a lot of fun. They have this burger on the menu. You can get a single, double, triple. And I was out to lunch with one of our really great writers, Brandon Schwang, and he ordered the burger. And we were thinking if they do single, double, triple, that must mean that they're thin.
Right.
Not so.
Oh boy.
They are
Side of
thick, sexy, big patties that are stuffed with American cheese.
Oh.
So he got a double, and it was literally more than 6 inches tall. I mean, I was like, how are you going to get that thing in your mouth? And when he bit into it, the cheese just was like this golden lava that oozed out of this. So you got everything from like tofu steamed buns to crazy cheesy, grass-fed cheeseburgers. But then,
Right.
I had the Vietnamese grilled beef salad that was lovely. It had hints of fish sauce and mint and really great, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking, peanuts kind of scattered on top of it. It was terrific. Okay.
Death in the afternoon in the City Garden, like across the street from that AT&T building right there.
Yes, it's Chestnut.
Yeah. And then Cielo of the Four Seasons downtown
Yes.
at the Four Seasons Hotel.
Yes.
What's going on with Feast Magazine, FeastCom?
Oh my goodness. Lots of things are going on. Last weekend was crazy. We were sponsoring a whole bunch of stuff,
Right.
and so we're just kind of plugging away right
All right,
now.
so you have a free weekend.
This weekend I do.
FeastSTL.com is the website for TV, magazine, information, all that. FeastSTL.com. Have yourself a good weekend.
Thank you.
And make sure you tell your dad Happy Father's Day.
I will.
Taking a brunch at somewhere nice, including Jimmy's
He's
on the Park.
in Florida.
Well, that's all right. You can fly him up on the Feast Lear jet. You can bring him up here.
Exactly.
Bertarelli Cutlery sponsors Cat Neville and Feast Magazine segment here on KTRS. Bertarelli Cutlery, keeping St. Louis sharp since 1967. Bertarelli is a one-stop shop for knife and tool sharpening, along with all of your knife supplies. Visit them in 1927 Marconi on the Hill or at Bertarelli.